folks. How's it going? I didn't even have time to tune up here before we got going on. Hey, everybody. Let's see here what we got. There's Evan right there. Hey, Aaron's right next to him. Right. How's it going? Hey, everybody. We're going to be talking about chord transitions today for all the folks who are coming in. Turn the lights up a little bit here. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. One of the things that a lot of people, when they're working on their chords, they just feel as if, oh, it's just my chord. I have a hard time making the shapes, and they concentrate on the shapes a little bit. And in my opinion, the biggest problem that people have with strumming chord progressions is the actual moving between them. That's what we're going to be talking about today. What are some of the hang-ups from that? Let's see. So, Evan got him a job offer he's excited about. That's fantastic. Fantastic. There you go. Right. Good. Okay, James is here. Hi, James. How you doing? Hope you're doing good. Did this start yet? No, we're just getting things going right now. We're going to be going for, I don't know, about a half hour or so, I think, today, talking about chord changing. And so James, okay, so we got a few folks coming in. We got about 10 or 15. I do want to tune before we get going. I apologize for that, but this will be quick. I had a rehearsal over the weekend, and I'm having to set the whole studio back up before we get going here. This week has been an interesting week for playing. We got a lot of new songs, and after my surgeries and all those things, I was back singing. I sung 10 songs on Sunday, and everything's still working. The face is still working, so I was pretty excited about that. We got a cool couple really, really cool songs. I can't wait for you guys to hear them as we get closer. I'm almost done with the tuning here, and then we're going to go ahead and do a close-up for some chord transitions. Any questions about chords today, please feel free to put it in the comments. And I'm almost done with this. Tremolos, right? We're close. Don't hate me if I'm not perfectly in tune. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can. There we go. You get one side in tune, and then the other side drops too low. Last one. Okay. All right, so let's go over here. I got a camera set up for this. And let's just pick a chord progression. We'll do an open chord progression, then we'll also do some bar chords and maybe something a little bit challenging as well too. Dean's here. Hey, Dean. Great to see you. Great to see you. Okay. So let's start off. Let's do something, a C to an F going back and forth, right? So I'm going to do something with some embellishments in there. The C major chord, I'm going to start off with an open D string and hammer on to the second fret. So that's starting with kind of a 9 with the D, a weak note, and replacing that with the hammer on with the third. Now we're going to go straight to an F, something like that, right? So we have a couple of things that moving back and forth between these chords. A lot of times people, they would play this, and then it would be time for the F. They'd move their hand slowly, try and get their fingers in the right position, and then play, and before you know it, the song's over. So there's a couple things you need to look out for when you're moving between chords. The reason I picked this is because we have a common note, which is my first finger on the C on the B string. Now I'm not playing the high E string. I'm playing, this is one of those middle 4 strings chords here. Notice that these 2 fingers are doing all the moving. When I move between the chords, so there's 2 things I'm looking for: the common note, and then the rest of them all come down at the same time. This is what's going to help you. So as I move from the C, 1, 2, I put these 2 fingers down. These are the 2 that are moving. When the second finger and the third finger are on the D string and the A string, second and third frets, they go down at the same time. I'm not doing the 1, 2, 3. That's going to take forever, and the song's over by then. And then when I move to the F, I'm not doing that either. I'm putting these 2 fingers down straight away. And this is a habit that you should start getting into, being able to press your chords down, all notes at the same time. Well, what's that going to get you? It's going to get you being able to play those notes on the beat, those chords on the beat. If you wait, if you go, okay, I got an F chord coming up, 3, 4, you've already missed it. So you can play it any time that you want, but when you miss hitting a chord right on the beat, right on 1, man, you got some problems, right? Everybody's going to hear it. People that don't even know anything about music will know, hey, there's something wrong here. And the problem that we have is no matter who you are, doesn't matter how famous you are, it's going to take you time to move from one chord to the next. Okay, it takes time. Now, it may be just a split second if you're really good at this, right? But it's still time. Now, where does that time come from, right? So let's get let me open up a new, let me see if I can get a new page here. Okay, and let's go over to the right desktop here. All right, so you're going to be playing C, 2, 3, 4, and then F, 2, 3, 4. Right, so we have 2 chords here. C's being played on 1, 2, 3, 4, and F, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have to make the transition from the C chord to the F chord. And this takes time. We need to have that F chord playing right on 1, right on the first beat. So what does that mean? That means that this F, we have to make it, we have to form the chord ahead of time in this space right here. After beat 4, but before beat 1 comes in. Everything you have to think before the chord. So 1, 2, 3, 4, change 1, 2, 3, 4, change 1, 2, 3, 4, change 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're always stealing a little time from the measure before. And that's something that takes a little bit of time to get used to. Some people, they just naturally do that. They realize that the beat 1 is I have to have that chord on beat 1, and it doesn't matter what I do to get there. And other people, they just can't seem to get that concept of, by the time I get my chord, when I wait for 1 to happen, it's too late, right? So, and if you think about it, what's the beat that you can sacrifice the easiest? Well, that's beat 4. That's the beat that, you hear these fusion guys that play all of the outside sounds. A lot of those are on the end of the measure, beat 3 and beat 4. We can take a lot of dissonance. We can take a lot of space. But as soon as beat 1 comes around, you got to be on that. If you miss beat 1, if you're late on beat 1, everyone knows. Okay, so we're trying to move these chords, and we're trying to be able to put them down as quickly as possible. We want to shorten that time. How am I going to do that? I am going to sacrifice a beat. Let's sacrifice beat 4 altogether, right? So I'm going to play, let me get another pick here. I dropped my pick. I'm going to play C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I'm using 4 as the time where I move back and forth between the chords, okay? Now, it still sounds like music. It doesn't sound horrible. Much better than this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's horrible, right? Losing 4, no one's gonna. They might just think you're being artistic. I meant to do that. That way, you cover yourself, makes it sound like you know what you're doing, and you're giving yourself time to switch. Now, I picked 2 easy chords going from C to F, but it doesn't stay that easy. Let's pick a little, do like a minor bar chord blues here, right? So I'm going to start with my 5th fret A minor 7th chord, everybody's favorite chord, one finger. So we got the bar at the 5th fret on the 7th fret on the A string. We've got our 5th, the E, in the key in an A minor chord. And then we'll go to the 4 chord. Now these share the bar here, so those are pretty good. But when we go to the 5 chord, now our whole hand has to change. And this is going to be a tough one to get to. Okay, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I'm going to sacrifice that last beat so I can stay on the solid beat 1. Let's go back to the D minor 7. See, there's a lot of movement going on here, right? But what you're not able to see is the next thing that I'd like to ask you to try if you're having a hard time going back and forth between chords is I'd like for you to start to form the chords above the strings before you press them down. See if I can. So if I'm going to make an A minor 7th chord, I have this whole thing in the air. Now here's my D minor 7. It's not pressed down yet. When I go to that chord, I bring all of the fingers down at the same time. I'm not going 1, 2, 3. That's how we all start. That's how we all did that. And you could find yourself still doing that, even if you're an advanced player. Trying to form these shapes. I mean, think about it, right? This is my D minor 7th chord right here. Guess what? It's still my D minor 7th chord right here. My brain says that's D minor 7. Now the guitar disappeared, right? That's still D minor 7. I'm going to go back to A minor 7. Well, there's my A minor 7. Here's my E dominant 7. Watch this. Put it right down on it. Okay? So figuring out how to get your hands in the shapes of the chord that they're going to be before you press down is going to save you an enormous amount of time. You players, you think that, oh, this is old stuff. I don't really need to know this. Take a look at your playing sometime. We all slip back into the 1, 2, 3 junk, right? We want to go boom, 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 boom. Be able to put those shapes down because think of it. Even a medium tempo song. 1, 2, 3, 4. Chord, 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 chord. It's very common to have an immediate medium tempo song, a measure or two where you're playing a chord every single beat. And you're going to get lost on those things. So transitions between chords, that's where it's at. Once you can get these shapes down, the minute you get the shapes down, start thinking about moving them back and forth. How do I practice that? How do I go back and forth between these two chords? Well, it's not a backing track. You get your backing track going on, and you have no idea what the chords are. Well, I got a backing track here. It's an A. You know what the key is. Usually they'll tell you what the key is. They'll tell you what the tempo is. But the most important information that we need to know to play over a backing track is what's the chord progression. And 9 times out of 10, we don't know, right? So what are you going to do with that? Well, we're guessing. Well, you know what most of us do is we figure out what's in the key of A minor. I'm just going to play my A minor scale and hope for the best with that, and completely ignore what the chords are. The chords are the most important thing. The harmony of the song is the most important thing. And I love for you to start using a loop pedal if you can help it. If you can get away from the backing tracks for parts of your practice and get one of those really cheap loop pedals, the Chinese ones. What do they cost? $25 or 30, 40? I don't know what it is, but something where you can hit a button. You can hit a button and you can loop 2 chords going back and forth. This is going to give you a tempo to work on. Right? Okay, I got to have my chords done. Here's 1. It's got to be there. New chords coming up. 1, it's got to be there. 1, it's got to be there. And we don't have to go through a whole chord progression. We can just go back and forth between 2 chords, getting used to. Let's see, what did I do? I did A minor 7 and D minor 7, right? So I've got the whole chord comes down, then the whole chord comes down. Boom, 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 boom. So let's see here. Saccharine 4. 1, 2, 3. Switch down at the same time. Switch down. 2, 3. Switch down. 2. And say, okay, we got that. But maybe I can't just make a lot of noise. Maybe I'm sitting on in the family room with the family. We're all watching television, but I got my guitar here and I want to practice those things. What's another way that we can practice them? And that is, don't strum, right? Just fret the chords and try forming the chord above the strings and going straight down with all of your fingers equally. This isn't going to bother anyone in the room. Unless you have a microphone like I do right here. That drives you kind of nuts, right? But you can hold the strings, get used to playing them, right? I'm going G, D, C, A minor, F, G7, 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 and start forming your chords. And more than that, picking 2 chords to go back and forth between, getting used to moving back and forth between those 2. You're going to make these, you're going to get a mental image of these chords, and it will never leave you. You'll never forget them, right? Back and forth, back and forth. Whenever I have a song that has a difficult chord progression, say I was going back and forth between a B minor 7 and no, I was doing in a G major 7. Say I had a song that had those 2 chords. I would sit and practice moving back and forth between them till I couldn't take it, till it would make sense to stop. But I'm getting a visual representation of them, and my fingers are feeling the frets. They're feeling how it's going to go, and I can quietly strum them back and forth too. and my transitions are going to be clean. They're going to be on the beat. And there you go. That's what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to make sure that everybody pays attention to their chords. We talk about lead so much, and I had my rehearsal this past weekend, and I got to play some fun lead. But if I think about it, I mostly played chords the entire time. I played chords throughout the whole thing because I threw chords in with my leads because I was the only guitar player. I was filling things out. So being able to move back and forth between scales and chords, that's another one for transition. What's up? That's another thing that you can do. Include chords with your scale practice. Play your one scale up and start that over the root note of the chord in the chord progression. So you got an A minor, start your A natural minor scale from the A. D minor, start it from the fourth, the D. And then E, down 7. Down at 7. So taking little chord hits in there as you're playing is going to help you a lot too. There's a couple things that happen while I was doing this stuff in the chat. Let's see here. TDK, Commercial Advisors. Who is this? Who's TD? I've seen that several times. Just a first name. That would be great if you could help me out there. The question is, what type of guitar is this? This is a American 2001 American double fat Stratocaster Sienna Sunburst with an ash body. it's a lot, right? So I bought this. This was a Twin Towers guitar. That's when I bought it. Looks pretty good for an old guitar, right? It's still hanging in there. It came with a white tortoise pickguard and 2 humbuckers. It came with 2 Seymour Duncan humbuckers in there. And those ones that it came with didn't suit the guitar to me. And I spent a long time. I've got a whole box full of humbuckers in there. And I bought a bunch of different ones, trying a whole mess of different humbuckers to try and find the right ones. So what I ended up doing is scrapping the neck humbucker and went back to single coils for that. And this is a Pearly Gates, a Seymour Duncan Pearly, just the regular Pearly Gates with the chrome cover on there. And it works wonderful for a Strat. You wouldn't believe how nice it is. And these are Lindy Fralin Vintage Hots are these 2 here. So I can get anything I need from this guitar here. I've got the Spurzl locking tuners, and it's a Graphtec nut. And I haven't re-radiused this one yet. I've done all my other guitars. This one is still like a 9.5, but I've done some fretwork on it. But the coolest thing here is this is a Wilkinson locking bridge. It doesn't lock like you would think up here like a Floyd Rose does. It locks at the saddle here. So every one of these strings is locked down right there. So we're not getting the slipping there. So it's the only trim I've had that keeps me as close to as in tune as I can be. I get maybe 3 or 4 songs out of it before I have to do a little tuning there. So this was Tom in Naples. Wonderful. Good to see you, man. He said, nice. He just said, just bought a Tele Classic Vibe yesterday. Classic Vibes are nice. Even the Strats are nice too. Which kind of Tele did you get? Is it like a country Tele or is it like a rock Tele? I'm curious about that. Wiggle was here. Hey, Wiggle, what's happening, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Peace, my friend. Dean, thank you very much, Dean. I appreciate that. The Chord Elevation Toolkit is what's coming out next. That's why we're doing these live streams. What I've done, if any of you have already purchased it, go ahead and log back in. You'll be surprised at what you see. I have redone the whole insides. It looks just like the Blues Elevation Toolkit now. And over the next week, I'll be upgrading things as we go. If you want to follow along with the live streams, like we're doing one on Thursday, and then next week it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're going to be putting in all the new parts of the Chord Elevation Toolkit. It's going to have a vault with all the chords that you could ever want. And just, 2 clicks and you're there, and you'll have everything that you need. We've got a really good system with this vault system that we did with the blues. And I'm looking forward to this. And what the Chord Elevation Toolkit is all about embellishments, kind of like I was doing in the beginning. What do you do with these chords, right? How can you, if it says I got to play C for 4 measures, how are you going to make that interesting? That's the problem there. How do we make these chords kind of make them sound like they're breathing, make them sound like they're moving towards something like that? And I go through in the main part of the Elevation Toolkit for the chords. So we go through each string. We talk about, well, what are all the possibilities that we could try here? I could go suspended. I could go 9th on the D string. I could go to the 6th on the G string. This is for a C chord. I could go the major 7th. I could go to the 9th. Talk about inversions, the D over F sharp, so I go through all of the open position chords, and we're also going to be having some other things added in there that's going to have something to do with bar chords as well too. So we'll be talking all about that this week. He got a 50s classic vibe. Cool, that's great. Let's see. Put it up on Facebook and send me a link. I want to see it. Aaron says, thanks for going live today. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out with me today. This was fun. You're going to love that classic vibe. Kurt has a purple one. Awesome. Yeah, let's see here. Okay. I'll get to that in just a second. I used to teach at a music store a long time ago in Macon, Georgia. And I would go in and teach, and I would generally not bring my guitar. I would use a guitar off the wall from the store. And that kind of good, your students get to see you using some of the guitars, and you can pick different ones. It's kind of a learning experience too. And there was a Squire. Now, this wasn't a classic vibe. This was just a Squire. I think it was a Bullet. I'm not sure, but it was a Stratocaster. It was a black Stratocaster. It had 2 humbuckers in it. And this guitar was fantastic. It's one that I still remember it from, over 20 years ago. I remember that guitar. And it was on consignment. I could have got it for like $80 or something like that. And I said, yeah, it's a Squire. I don't want a Squire. I got all these other and I would go in and I play that guitar every day, and it was one of those guitars that just played. It just played itself, and I didn't get it. And man, I'm still kicking myself. Do you guys have any guitars like that? You're just kicking yourself over not getting it. I've gotten rid of some guitars that I'm kicking myself over that too. So it was Tom, right? Yeah, Tom. Tom says, what pick do you mostly use also? Well, right now, I'm using anything I can get my hands on. Here's this one. I will generally use the Tortex, the blue ones, the 1.0, heavier picks, but Aaron has sent me some cool picks. I've been liking those. This is a rosewood pick that I use from time to time, which is pretty nice. It doesn't bend very much. But I have different picks for different things that I need. I've got, if I'm going to be recording some like strummy acoustic guitar, I've got some of these really thin. Let me see if you can. One of these, it's almost like paper that you can bend it, but it sounds great for strummy acoustic guitar. I could never play lead guitar with it. And I've got everything in between. I've got my Bumblebee thumb picks here. For my jazz stuff, I use these. These are Dunlops too. They're very thick. They don't bend at all. But right now this is just a Fender Medium. I took all my picks. I just grabbed a bunch of them and went to rehearsal with them. And I use Jazz 3s. I just basically use any pick that I've got. But for years, the blue Tortex picks, those are the ones that if you go to my my dryer in the lint thing, that's where they are, or in the couch. I got the most of those, right? Yeah, it says, I think I got one of those. Okay. ES335. He says, can you show close up of that bridge, please? Is it the VS 1300 I see listed? I think it is. Let me get the close up here. There. Let's see. Let me see if I get it. There we go. Let me get rid of this. This one here. I think you can see it. Yeah, it's the VS. I'm pretty sure that you're right. That sounds right. That sounds familiar. So the one I was using before this is called the VSVG. It's a Wilkinson VSVG, and that one I use on my black Gilmore looking Strat. Although it's not a Gilmore Strat, it looks like it because it's six screws there. But this guitar was from the factory. All of those American standards back then were the two. They pivot on the two. So this, I was like, well, I want something that stays in tune, but I need the two poles, and this is the only one I could get. It was a little more expensive, and I thought, you know what? I'm sick of not. If it works, my friend Chris told me that Wilkinson tremolos work, so I'm gonna do it. And I put the money down, and let me tell you something. I've been pretty happy with. Now, it's not perfect. It's not like a Floyd Rose where you can just play it all day. But it is for my experience with the Strat to be able to play. I mean, and really play it for 3-4 songs without having to retune. That was a game changer for me. So now whenever I'm playing, I'm always using it now. So it's been a lot of fun for me. Let's see. He says, just a thanks, very informative and I appreciate you. Thank you. This was fun for me. Everybody come on back the rest of this week, Thursday, and then all next week. We're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you. That was Phil. Thanks, Phil. Oh no, it was Steven. Thanks, Steven. I appreciate it. And Phil says, cool, thanks. I was looking for the black locking screws. Well, yeah, they're there. It just wore off. They were black when I first got it. I think they're plated or something like that. Let me see. Let's see if I can get, I think this is the closest camera I have right now. So right here on the you can see the little Allen wrench right there. Those used to be black, but just from playing them for not very long, the black has worn off of those. So yeah, but these were the little black screws there that they had. You got it. Having a tough time memorizing the chord progressions. Also working on Rainbow's Temple of the King. Which chord progression are you talking about? Are you talking about that? The Temple of the King, or just chord progressions where am I? I'm talking to my guitar here. There we go. What chord progressions are you having a hard time with there? I haven't played Temple of the King, so I don't know about that one, but I did see Rainbow in concert once, and I did listen to him a lot, so maybe I do know the song. It's been a long time. Phil says about 230. Yeah, I think that's what it was. That's what, the regular Wilkinsons are what, like 50 or 60, 70, down there. So for the Wilkinson, that's bad. But I have been thinking about the Vega Trem too. So, and that was like 300. So this one was a little bit cheaper than that. And I'm pretty happy with it. It sounds good. That's the thing. Sometimes some tremolos, and you know that. Have you ever picked up a cheap guitar that has a tremolo on it, and even if you're not using it, it just doesn't sound right. It has a different, this sounds, it has a solid sound. It matches. Evan says, sneak peek into tomorrow's podcast. Well, I haven't recorded it yet. So we've had some family stuff going on, some health stuff, dental stuff. So yesterday, so all day yesterday. So I'm a little behind. But I was going to record that this evening. And then I was going to do, so the YouTube lesson video, I just thought I'd just have fun doing some licks. Not 5 most impressive licks that you've ever seen that will help you, clean your kitchen and none of that stuff. Just some, I just thought maybe I'd make a couple cool licks and do a YouTube video on that tomorrow. I thought that would be fun. No editing, just me, just like this, doing it. And then the audio podcast, I've got 3 or 4 different ideas. What do you want me to do, Evan? I'll do what you want me to do for tomorrow. Fred says, in general, and that's for the remembering chord progressions. Let's see, what's a good chord way of remembering them? So have you heard about the Nashville number system, where they talk about the 1 chord and the 4 chord and the 5 chord? I used to, when I was having a hard time remembering chord progressions, where each one would go, I would start to map them out a little bit. Let me see if I would start to map them out. So I usually, if it was like, let's do the key of G, G, A. This thing doesn't want to write today. G, A, B, C, D, E. Let's see if I can get that F sharp and G, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's you could work out what all of these are: G major, A minor, B minor, but there's a formula for that. So it's major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. That's a little degree sign for diminished there. The 1 chord, if it's right from the major scale, it's always major. So there'll be a G major. The 2 chord is always minor, and A minor. The 3 chord is A minor, B minor, C major, D major, E minor, and F sharp. Sorry, this thing doesn't want to write today. Diminished. So these are the chord progressions in G major. These are the family, right? And what I would do is start calling them by their numbers. This is the 1. This would be the 4. This would be the 5. 2 minor, right? So I would make these capital Roman numerals. And I'd start quizzing myself in different keys. Well, what's the 1 chord going to the 5 chord, going to the 4 chord, and then going to the 2 chord? That'll be G, D, C, A minor. Well, could I do that in another key? What's another key where I could do that? That was G, D, C, A minor. So a 1 chord in, let's pick B flat, right? My 1 chord's B flat, straight across, 2 up and 1 over. That's my 5 chord, so that's an F, B flat, F. And then E flat would be the 4 chord, and then the 2 would be C minor or C minor 7, right? And I'd start to get familiar with, like for that one, that was B flat, the 5 chord is F. Well, Well, it's always F for B flat. So you get used to, well, in the key of B flat, the 5 chord is going to be an F. And you start to relate those things. You can start with 5 chords. That would be a good place to start. So G, what's the 5 chord of G? D. You notice there's a lot of songs that have a G and a D in it. That's the most common progression, 5 going back to 1. Right? So, excuse my out-of-tune guitar. 5 to 1. So let's see here. How about A? 5 is E, A. So you notice there's a lot of songs in A that have an E in it, right? And you start to get used to those. Oh, the E chord. And so then when you learn these chord progressions, you start to go, oh, well, this is in the key of G. I bet there's going to be a D in there somewhere. Right. Okay, well, there it is. Or you might go, A minor is the 2 chord in the key of G. I see a lot of songs in G that have A minor in it. And not only do you start to remember, oh, well, that's A minor and G, they're related, it's the 2 chord, but you also start to hear that sound. And you start going, oh, that song must have a 2 chord in it, because that's the same sound that I hear when I play A minor to G. And everything starts to kind of come together after a while. Okay? This is fun. Got a bunch of good questions in today. Here, let's see here. What do we got? I'm going to go back a little bit. Okay, let's see here. Okay, was this Jose? Is that what it says? I'm new on guitar and want to learn chords, 2 or 3. Which ones are the 3 easy chord progressions? Okay, well, let's see here. I would do, if I was going to do the first 3 chords, I would do G, C, and D. That's a 1 chord, meaning G's. It's the key of G. This is going to be, what we mean by that is G would be your first chord and maybe your last chord of it's the chord that when you play it, the song could be finished. So see if I was playing G to C, G, and then to D. Now I'm going to stop on the C chord when I get to it. Does that feel finished when I stop on the C? No, it's kind of driving me a little crazy right now, because that's the 4 chord. It's not a strong chord. It's not. We want to end up back on the 1. Here, well, let's try the 5 chord. Let's try the D. I'm going to play this. So now I'm going to go to G. Now the D chord's coming. Right. So you notice, well, I'm not in the key of C. I'm not in the key of D here. But if I go to that D chord, when I go to that G, hey, it's over, right? So I would start practicing G to C, G to D, or in any combination, but knowing that the strong chord is the G right here. You can play a lot of songs with those 3 chords. All right, hope I helped. Evan's got, what is that? I can't even see it. The monitor's too far away from me. So was it a smiley face? I can't even see. Let's see here. Phil says, thanks for your advice. Just whack the like. Hell yeah, all right. Good stuff. Oh, crud, and I'm on the spot. Yeah, think about it. This is I'm doing Evan's episode this week on the podcast. Just a ton of stuff this week. It's one of those, not overly stressed out. I'm not in a bad mood. Just things just keep happening, So it's coming out. I'm going to do it. It's just not going to be one of these ones that I plan for days and days and days, And Phil sub too. Thank you, Phil. I sure appreciate it, man. I really do. I'm going to start coming out here a little bit more. We did a lot of these for the Blues Elevation Toolkit. Got the chord coming up now, and then we got all sorts of stuff coming up after that. Aaron says, we're all counting on you there. Evan says, I like the mindset episodes a lot. Okay. All right. Keep going with that. You may have already done it. Looking forward to the licks and maybe riffs. Okay, cool. Cool. Fred says, right on, makes sense. Thank you. I'm glad it worked. I'm glad it worked for you. Let's see here. Evan says, my friend Earl likes to offer up suspense with seventh chords unresolved. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. One of them. Yeah, letting those seventh chords just ring out, dominant seventh chords. That'll do it for you too. Well, okay, it's 4:47. I'm going to go ahead and start to close things up. Unless anybody has another question, just go ahead and put it in before we take off. And the Chord Elevation Toolkit is coming. This is these toolkits are kind of the feature course that we're doing now. They're not expensive. They're $20. You get a ton more than a whole lot more. In fact, a lot of people on that you see in the chat now have taken me aside and said, there's a lot more than $20. Are you sure? You know what you're doing? Yes, I know. I did it on purpose. We're over delivering with this. I want everybody to have a toolkit. I want to have everyone to be able to go to this one place to get. Oh, I need a scale. I need to figure out how to do these chords. I can play the song in open position, but I can't play it up here. How can I do that? I want you to be able to be able to play embellishments of chords all over the place and have a place that you go to for that. And a whole bunch of other things too. So go ahead and check that out if you would like to. Right now, the theme is ready to go. I'll be adding more in as we go through the week, but all the embellishment stuff is in there. And some bonuses are already in there too. So if you haven't got it yet, that would be awesome. If I could see y'all in there, you say hi. And I haven't got any more questions. Oh, I did get some more. Let's see. Evan says, well, worth it. Thank you, Evan. Thank you. You would know. It's like a whole blues school for $20. That's right. That's right. Blues toolkit. I don't have the chord toolkit yet. Okay. That one, it's been out, but it's about to be updated. We're throwing gasoline on it. Kurt says it's only 1:47 here. You got a few more hours to go. Oh man, I wish I could. That would be fun. Maybe we'll do that. You see, so I live near the Disney area here, and you see all these YouTubers that go over there, and they will live stream for hours and hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, and I don't know. Maybe I could maybe do a few hours. I don't know if I can do that here. Maybe I could take you around the room and say, look, there's my bass, and that's Billy Gibbons back there. That'll give us 15 minutes. Aaron says exactly, super valuable and can always go back to it. These toolkits are something that, I mean, how many courses have we bought over the year? I have bought a bunch in different things, not just guitar. And I go to the course and I do it and I go, oh, that's interesting. And then I never see it again, right? These are made for people who are learning guitar. And these are things that I've run into pitfalls with certain things as I was learning guitar. And I wanted to have everything you need where you go, you know what? I'm going back to that. I know that the answers are there. I'm going to head back to it. So that's what we're doing with those. And you're going to see a whole bunch of that this week with the chords. Kurt loves this stuff. Thank you, Kurt. Thank you, man. Phil says almost 10 p.m. in Wales, about to go up the wooden hill. Really enjoy. Yeah. Have fun, man. Do some shredding. Get it going. How's everything in Wales? I used to have a student in Wales. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Jose says, thank you so much for the explanation. I'll give those 3 chords a try. Yeah, try it out with those. They're a good one. A lot of people they'll say E and A, but that's the 1 and the 4 chord. But typically the chord progressions you get are a 1 chord, a 4 chord, and a 5 chord. And remember when I just wrote out the scale, each note from the scale can be a chord. And you number all of those, and that's how you know which one's the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and 5 chord. Those are a family of chords. That's why have you ever noticed certain songs, chords, you'll see the same chords from, songs in the key of G. You see a lot of C's, you see a lot of D's. And why? Because they're in the same family. That's how songwriters make songs. They know what chords work together well. Why do the chords work together well? Because they're all built from the same scale. They're notes from a scale. And you start on different degrees of scale and you jump every other note and there's your chord. And then you do that from another part of the scale. Because they all came from the same place, they all work together. And then you can play that scale over top of them and play lead guitar. It's just a matching game. That's all we're doing is matching things. So let's see. Okay, we already got to that one. Cool. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you had a good time today. Come on back on Thursday. We're going to get a little bit more in depth with chords on Thursday, and hope to see some of the same cast of characters. Thank you. Let's see. Tom was here. Thank you, Tom. Dean was here. Thank you, Dean. Wiggle came in. Evan's been here since the beginning. Aaron was here since the beginning too. Let's see. Who else did I miss? I'm going to scroll down here. Kurt. Good to see you, Kurt. Phil. Good to see you. Steven. Fred. And people from all over the place. Jose. I think I got everybody that commented. Now, there was a lot of people in here earlier too. So hello to everybody who came in for the live stream. And also thank you for all the folks who watch these after the fact. We have a whole lot of people that check on these after everything's just up on the Facebooks and the internet there. So thanks, sent info for lesson. I'll be looking for that. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Aaron. Axis of Awesome. 4 chords, the Axis of Awesome. Yeah, very cool. All right. And see you tomorrow at the Academy. Yeah, so we also have a private Q&A for Academy members tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And a lot of those folks are in here too. So, all right, everybody, I'll see you tomorrow, Academy members, and I'll see folks on YouTube and Facebook on Thursday. Bye-bye, everybody.